Hi, I'm Dan McDade, your host and president of PointClear. Welcome to PowerViews. My guest today is Joanne Black. Joanne is America's leading authority on referral selling. As the founder of No More Cold Calling, Joanne works with sales teams to build disciplined and measurable referral programs. Salespeople score meetings in the C-suite, derail the competition, and convert referral prospects to clients more than 50% of the time. An innovative sales advisor and captivating speaker, Joanne is a member of the National Speakers Association and author of No More Cold Calling, the breakthrough system that will leave your competition in the dust. And she's also the author of Pick Up the Damn Phone, How People and Not Technology Seal the Deal. And I have to tell a story from Joanne's first book. She was working her first job out of college in a retail store, and she told some coworkers that she wanted to rearrange a display. Their coworkers said, "Hey, that's never been done before." So when she told her manager what her coworkers said, the manager said, "Well, that's a good enough reason to do it." And she's been rearranging displays ever since. Joanne, welcome to PowerViews.
Thank you, Dan.
It's great to have you here today. I'm going to start out just asking you to tell us a little bit about the premise of, I love the title, obviously, of Pick Up the Damn Phone.
Well, everybody loves the title. They laugh. In fact, I was just introduced to someone, and he said, "I have to talk to you because I love the title of your book." And really the genesis of it, because as you know, I'm a bit contrarian, starting from that story you told right out of college, is that technology is a fabulous tool. We all know that. We love it when it works. But people don't do business with our keyboards. They do business with us. And the best business deals we ever did are because we talk person to person, whether it's through an online video, whether it's on the telephone, or whether it's actually sitting down person to person, which we need to do from time to time. I felt it was the proper time, the right time, to put my stake in the ground and say, now, here's how we have to interact. We have to set the clock back a little bit. And so that's the genesis of the book.
Well, it's interesting because on one hand, you've got technology-enabled salespeople and to some extent, we'll get into this more, but to some extent are, in some cases, hiding behind the technology. On the other hand, you have buyers who are more empowered than ever with technology. And, what do you kind of recommend? How has the technology changed what is expected of the salespeople?
Well, we have to do more, actually, because the buyer is so well informed. And by the time they reach us and they want to speak with us, they have a need, a real need, and we need to be able to decipher what they want, to ask good questions, and to make a recommendation. And you know as well as I, and any of us in sales, that many times the buyer will say, well, I want X. You know it isn't X. You know it's not even Y. It might be a combination of B and Z, for all we know. That's what they want from us. And so we have even more responsibility to our buyers than ever before.
I want to read just a quote from one of the blogs that you wrote. This was actually published on Jill Conrad's blog, but it was Pick Up the Damn Phone or Suffer the Consequences. In particular, there was a question about let's focus on social media, LinkedIn, Twitter, blogs, Facebook. You don't think they're worthless, or do you? And your answer I thought was really interesting. Social selling tools are great for research, identifying trigger events, and finding mutual connections. But even after you gather all of the social intelligence available on a prospect, that's not going to give you much of an advantage over your competitors who have access to the same information. What will differentiate you from the rest and get you in front of the decision maker hasn't changed a bit. It's still a personal connection, a referral from someone that they trust. Anything you want to add to that? Because I think that really says it well.
That does say it well, but here's what's happening today. You're right. The buyers have the access to the same tools we do. And if we want to stand out for our competition, we need to get in there before the buyer ever knows they have a need. I don't believe all the hype that 67%, whatever number you want to use, of the buying decision's already made before they ever talk to a salesperson. And if we begin to believe that, then we just go behind the technology, and behind the technology, and we're not having the conversations. What we need to do and what we love to do as salespeople, to get in and really dig in and get that business conversation. That doesn't happen with a click of the mouse.
Yeah, absolutely not. You know, I read your book, and I want to refer to, in fact, I've got a postcard that you sent with your book right here, and I wanted to refer, as part of my next question, that on page 85 of the book you talk about getting into LinkedIn, and one of the questions that I had for you is, you know, it's kind of sounds like a dumb question, why are referrals so important? But in your words, why are referrals so important, and what are some of the best ways to get them?
Oh, well, they're important because, and everybody tells me the same thing, and they've told me the same thing since 1996, Dan, that a referral, first of all, a referral means you have an introduction. It's not just a name, so we're not sending, you know, I saw you on LinkedIn and here's your business and here's why I can help you. It's not that. That's cold. What it is that someone that your prospect knows and trusts introduces you and tells that person the business reason why they should talk to you, and they agree. So you really arrive somewhat pre-sold. You've already had that trust and credibility. You shorten your sales process. You have a different kind of conversation. You stand out from the competition. And there's no cost to referrals. But the biggest thing is the astronomical conversion rate. It's well over 50%. In fact, I started working with a new client this morning, and we did the poll online, and majority said over 90% of the time when they get an introduction to the person they want to meet, and the balance of the people said over 70% of the time. I mean, there's nothing that comes close to that. Nothing. That's why they're so important, and it's the biggest competitive differentiator we have because people aren't doing it.
Mm-hmm. Well, in addition to referrals, or maybe with referrals as part of this, what are you recommending that sales executives do differently in 2014 as compared to what they did in 2013?
Well, the obvious answer is to focus on referrals.
Right.
And here's what we can't do. So let me start with what we can't do, because I've had sales executives say to me, well, Joanne, I tell my people that they should ask for referrals. And I say, well, how's that working for you? And they kind of shut up at that point. But we can't point and tell. You know, that just doesn't work. We have to have a strategy, build skills, and implement to make referrals work. So that's number one. Number two, there's so much going on today about what I call mindless activity. We all get these emails about, we have this great list, don't you want to buy it? Or I saw you were on my website. Or they send these 4 or 5 emails, they leave 4 or 5 messages, and then they're done. Well, it's not their fault, because somebody in a management role is making them do this. We need to stop this mindless activity. It is about activity that we can manage. But what about if you manage referral activity? Then you get the results.
Well, what have we missed, Joanne? What else is on your mind today that you would like to share with our audience?
I would say the perception and the belief that we make warm contacts. I hear this all the time. And I've had people push back on this. So my definition of a cold outreach is the person doesn't know you and doesn't know who you are and doesn't expect to hear from you. So that could be an email, could be a phone call, could even be a cold knock on the door. And that still happens. Now, people say, well, Joanne, I'm not cold calling or cold emailing. I know all about this person. I've researched them on LinkedIn. I know how I'm connected. I reach out with a good business reason. No. Ice cold. And they're saying it's warm. Now, come on in sales. It's either cold or it's hot. Do you want to be that wishy-washy in-between person? I don't think so. That's not how we do deals.
Yeah.
And so we need to get rid of that perception that we're making a warm outreach. We need to use technology, use social media, do all our research. Never, ever use LinkedIn to write to someone and say, would you refer me? First of all, I've had people say that annoys them. It assumes they're going to refer. It's very personal. We need to have a conversation and explain why we want the introduction, what we're looking for, and of course then how we can help that other person. We don't even know if they know the person on LinkedIn, right, Dan? People used to accept every invitation.
Right, right.
We need to have that personal conversation. There's no such thing as a warm call, a warm email, a warm knock on the door. It just doesn't exist. We need to step away from the keyboard, tweet less, and talk more to the customers and contacts who really matter.
You know what? I want you to write a blog for us. It's titled.
What?
It's titled "Tweet Less and Talk More." I think that's great. Well, thank you, Joanne. I guess the bottom line here is pick up the damn phone and tweet less and talk more. Joanne, what's the best way for our audience to get a hold of you if they want to have a follow-up conversation, learn more, or just find out more about you and how you go about things?
I'm going to give you my phone number first.
Okay.
It's area code 415-461-8763, 415-461-8763. That's Northern California Pacific time for those of you in other parts of the world who are time challenged.
Don't call at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, well, no, I'm there at 8, but then my email is Joanne, and that's spelled Joanne at nomorecoldcalling.com, and my website is nomorecoldcalling.com. So I invite you to check that out, sign up for my newsletter, and get a referral quiz, and see how you're doing with referral selling.
Well, I'm on your site all the time, and I really appreciate your being with me today. Thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you, Dan. Bye.
For now, this is Dan McDade signing off on another edition of PowerViews. Thank you for watching.